welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a kind of the 5 ways that I have handled my grief over the last few years. And these are the good ways I've dealt with my grief. I've definitely made some bad choices, and that is a whole other video for another time. But I wanted to focus on the 5 ways, or the 5 kind of paths I took and methods that have actually really helped me deal with my grief and kind of help me to move on. Now I want to kind of put a disclaimer out there. I'm not an expert in grief. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a counselor. I'm not an expert at this by any means. I have lost a great deal of people in my life, and because of that, I've kind of found the ways that really work for me, and I wanted to share those for anybody else who may be dealing with this and trying to mourn someone, and to maybe give you ideas that you can look for to kind of help with the transition and help to understand your feelings and your emotions. And everybody grieves differently. Everybody does. It's individual to every single person. And I know what it can feel like when people around you are moving on and they expect you to move on, and you're like, hey, wait a minute, no, I'm not finished. I'm not over this. And you may never be done grieving, and I don't think you are really ever done grieving. You just learn how to function and how to live your life while still knowing that that person is still, in your heart and is still with you. To give you an idea, I've had a lot of grief in my life. I lost my dad when I was 16, and then before that I had lost my grandma, so my dad's mom. I was 9 when she passed away, and then we went quite a while, and then my dad passed away, and actually my grandpa passed away, so my dad's dad passed away in April, and then my dad passed away in November, all of the same year. And then we went a long time with nothing happening, but then my grandma passed away in 2012, and then my mom passed away in 2014, and then my aunt passed away in July of 2014. So they kind of go in clusters, is what I'm finding. But yeah, so I had a lot of grief, and my mom was the worst. My mom and I were best friends. We did everything together. We were a small little family, and we loved it. And I found her in the morning, which is very traumatic for me, and that's why I came up with this list. So hopefully I can help somebody out there. Let's dive right into the 5 ways that I found help me deal with my grief. So the first thing I did was writing. I am a writer. I love writing. I write everything and anything I can. And the first place you start is usually with a journal. I had a journal, and I literally just dumped my thoughts and my feelings. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to look pretty. You just want to get it out of your head, and you want to get those feelings and thoughts on paper so that you can kind of look at them and read them and really see them in a different perspective. Another way to do that is also writing letters to the person who has passed away. I did this more so with my mom and my grandma. Obviously you can't send them, right? But you're writing the letters, you're telling them, you can be completely open as you want. I remember when I first did it, I held back a lot, and I realized, what's the point of this if I'm just writing her a nice little letter? No, I need to tell her, that I'm angry. I'm angry that she left. I'm, downright pissed off that she left me alone. She left me in squalor. She left me going crazy. And she left it for me to find her, and all of these things, I got them out of my brain, and I wrote them down. I also did start a blog, not a vlog, a blog. I I started it and I actually had kept it going. I haven't written on it in a while. I will link it below. It is very dark and sad, but it does give a little bit of a history as well to me and my experiences. So I will link it below for you. I had titled it, "Excuse Me, I'm Still Grieving." And yeah, I haven't written in probably over a year, but what I did write was pretty powerful stuff. So you can always check it out if you want. The second thing, the second way I handled my grief was with a social worker and eventually a counselor. So when my mom first passed, Dan had me into the doctor right away. She referred me to a social worker that also works with her practice. And I ended up seeing that social worker for well over a year. I think it was about a year and a half. And it did wonders. He let me talk about her. We talked about other things. And it was great. After a year and a half, though, we just kind of reached the end where there was really nothing more I was getting out of it and nothing more I could really put into it without just repeating ourselves constantly. So I stopped seeing him. Eventually, I did get connected with a grief counselor, and I was very, very fortunate. I found a grief counselor that I could see, and it was free of charge. So, and she's phenomenal, and I still talk to her. I still get phone calls from her, and it's awesome. You know, she gives you credit that grieving and grief is work. It's hard work, and the more people you lose and the more grief you're going through, the harder of a job it is. And it is kind of a job. Like, you're so focused on these feelings and you have so many emotions that sometimes you just don't know where to channel them. So she gave me a whole kind of path of working out my grief, and even now I still go back to it and I still read books that she suggested, and they do help. The third thing I did was I found a local grief group. So I was unsure about this at first because I'm not a person to, jump into a group of people and start talking about my problems and sharing my feelings, and I just wasn't that kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. But I found this grief group and I had my intake and I was accepted, and I went for probably close to a year, and then I had stopped going, which was a mistake. I should not have stopped going. And I recently picked it back up. Now, I have not been back because, we found out I was pregnant and I didn't want to do the walking because I have to walk to group, and it's about a 45-minute walk. And in the winter, it's just crazy. Now that I've now lost both of my babies, it's something I definitely want to get back to. It's just a matter of, what is Dan's schedule? Can I keep the car? Can I not keep the car? It's endless. So hopefully I will get back to it, but I would really recommend it, and don't feel out of place. In my group, we have older people, we have young people, younger than me even. We have widows, we have people who have lost parents, children. It's literally the whole gamut of things. The fourth thing I did was take time from you. So take time for yourself. I know this seems kind of silly, but when you're grieving, your body is physically going through a lot of things. Sometimes you're crying constantly. Sometimes you're angry. Maybe you throw things, however you deal with your anger. But your body needs time to kind of adjust and absorb everything. And one thing I do remember, when my mom passed away, one of my first calls was to my brother. Well, technically my sister-in-law, who had to get a hold of my brother. He's in the military, so I believe he was training for something that day, but she got a hold of him and he came down right away. And I remember him telling me, even if you don't sleep, rest your eyes so that you rest. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but it really, really did, even to this day. And at the time, it worked. Like, I would just lay down and close my eyes. I wouldn't sleep. I try and picture daisies and roses and, things that would distract me from what I had seen. And it worked. It worked at the time. And even now, if I'm, trying to go to sleep and I can't, and it's because I'm thinking of my mom or anything, I'll just close my eyes and be like, I just have to rest. I just have to close my eyes and I just have to rest. And of course, now I just fall asleep. But I remember that advice that he gave me, and it's stuck with me. And it's funny how, people are always giving you advice, and you always get the I'm so sorry and oh my goodness, I can't believe that happened, and all this. But my brother, he's a realist, I guess. He's very practical, and that was probably the best advice I got during the entire ordeal. And that does lead into my last method, I guess, is family and friends. Whoever you have, whatever you have, I wouldn't be here without my family. At the time, I had a very, very, very dear friend who did help me at the time. She was awesome. She was helpful. She helped me plan things. She was kind of my brain when my brain wasn't working the way I wanted it to. And, I'd be lost without her. Sorry, I would have been lost without her. And, we're not friends right now. And that actually breaks my heart because, she was my best friend. She was there for me. And, yeah, I don't want to get into that whole situation, obviously, but between friends and my family, like, I had people reaching out to me, even my sisters. At the time, we didn't really talk very much. We weren't at war, we weren't angry, we weren't, none of that stuff. We didn't talk very much. And they came over and they helped and they were there for me. And ever since then, our relationship has grown, and it's grown into something that's so amazing and beautiful, and I cherish it so much. And leaning on them even now, they understand. I'm like my sister Sherry, she gets it. She understands I'm gonna have bad days. She understands that sometimes I just need a kick in the butt. And, I need that boost to get my butt out of bed and to get my butt outside and get some fresh air and get some exercise and, to go over to her place and, whatever it is. And I'm so thankful that I have her and her husband, Devin. They're just such a huge part of our support system that we've kind of built. After my mom died, I felt like I was alone. I felt like I had Dan and I had my puppies, and that was it. I was done. I had nothing else in my life that was worth living for. I was very, very wrong. I was very, very, very wrong. There's a lot of people that love me and that care about me, and I definitely took the wrong way to find all of that out. They were right in front of me the whole time, but I had it in my head that without my mom, I couldn't do anything. And now I know that I can. And I think my mom knew that too. She knew that I was going to be fine, and, I was going to get through everything. And, what's done is done. So I hope those help you if you are suffering with grief or even just depression and, struggling with day-to-day things. And I still do. There's some days where I get out of bed and it's like, forget it. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to sit in this bed and I'm going to watch YouTube and Netflix. And that's the way it is. And you know what? That's fine. That is totally fine. You can do that. That's completely good. It's awesome. But it's when it happens, every day of the week or, a couple weeks out of the month. That's when you want to be like, wait a minute, this isn't right. I need help. I need to talk to someone. And, reach out and look in your community and talk to your doctor and see what's out there to help you with grief and with depression, because depression is a scary, scary illness. It takes too many lives. It takes too many days of your life, and I hope that by doing these kind of videos, I can hopefully reach out to somebody or somebodies that are struggling really, really bad, and maybe they can see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that, I'm witness that, you can get through horrible, astounding grief, and you can get through rock bottom depression and still come out of it. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it. It's something that can be done. So make sure, if you like this video, to give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate if you guys could share this video, hopefully reach somebody out there who may be struggling. I just want to know, or I don't want to know, but I want to be able to help and get my story out there and hopefully reach someone. So again, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and let me know down in the comments if you're new, and I would love to get to know everybody. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.